Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to learn about ethical issues in psychological research. Before knowing about the ethical issues in psychological research, let us know about ethical issues. Ethical issue is a situation, problem, or activity that requires an individual or organization to choose between alternatives. That alternatives must be evaluated as morally right or morally wrong. So, morally right means is it ethical, or morally wrong means unethical. So, in simple terms, if we define ethical issue, it is a conflict that arises when a decision goes against a society's or profession established moral principles or code of conduct. So, in any profession, if you see, they have their own code of conduct. If the person is going against that code of conduct, there arises ethical issues. So, they are crucial in psychological research as well to protect participants and ensure the integrity of the findings. So, these issues primarily revolve around the rights and well being of the participants. Key ethical issues in psychological research. So, we will be talking about informed consent, deception, protection from harm, confidentiality and anonymity, right to withdraw, and debriefing. Number one, informed consent. So, whenever the researcher is trying to do the data collection, he is going to do any kind of experiment with any participant, that participant must be fully informed about the nature of research, their role, risks, and benefits before agreeing to participate. Without telling the nature of research, their role, risks, or benefits, researcher is researcher has to make sure that participants must be fully informed about it. Before that, they cannot do the data collection or experiment. They must understand their participation is voluntary. Participant must understand their participation is voluntary and they can withdraw at any time without penalty. So, for individuals who cannot give legal consent, example minors, in case of children, parental or guardian consent is required. Number two, deception. So, deception is the intent to mislead someone who is unaware that they are being lied to or tricked. So, deception occurs when researchers intentionally mislead participants about the true purpose of the study. It's generally unacceptable, but it's sometimes used if the necessary to study natural behavior and if it poses minimal risks. So when deception is done, debriefing must be done afterward. So for example, in case of deception, there is one experiment of Milgram where he tells participants that the research is about learning, it's a study of the learning, but his true intention is to know the obedience to the authority. So this can be one of the example for the deception. Number three, protection from harm. Researcher must take all the reasonable steps to ensure participants are not exposed to physical or psychological harm. Example is stress, anxiety, loss of self-esteem greater than what they might encounter in daily life. If there is a patient who is going through the depression and when filling the questionnaire of the researcher, if he feels more lost than I think that is going to disturb his daily life. So researcher has to ensure that it does not expose to physical or psychological harm. So if harm does occur, researcher must take steps to correct or alleviate it. Number four, confidentiality and anonymity. So participant data must be kept private and secure. What does confidentiality means? It means the researcher knows the identity of participant but keeps it secret. Anonymity means the researcher collects the data without knowing the participant's identity at all. Data should typically be reported in a way that prevents individual identification. Number five, right to withdraw. Participants must be clearly told at the start of the study that they have unconditional right to leave the research at any point and even withdraw their data without being penalized. Number six, in description, also talked about debriefing. So, debriefing means after research is concluded, especially if deception was used, participant must be given a full explanation of a study's purpose and procedures. This is the time to resolve any misconception and address any negative effects of the research. Thank you for listening to the ethical issues of psychological research. And if you want to learn more, please go through these references. You can learn more regarding ethical issues in psychological research. Please don't forget to like, share, or subscribe this channel.